Hey guys, Jonah here, back with another beer review. You know how we roll. I'm going to do another one from the single hop beers series, but something slightly different. And if we're looking over here, it is over here. Well, over here. Here we go. Well, apparently over here in Hong Kong. Oi! There's no thing about this in here, but we know this brewery because we have done stuff with them before, I believe. It is Gweilo, and this is quite cool. It says Beer of the Dragon, Cascadian Brown Ale, which is interesting. And it has got a dragon. I would like a dragon tattoo on my body somewhere. It even gives an IBU statement, which is kind of cool. And this, apparently, it says Cascadian Brown. It's not a Cascadian ale, like a dark beer, like a black IPA, as in a Cascadian. It's Cascade because it's got Cascade hops in it. And that is the only reason. So there is a lot of stuff written on here, but I do not think we get through any of this. There we go. That's what Gweilo usually do, is they put what their name means in that first bit. Here we go. So this is the bit we're interested in. Beer of the Dragon Cascadian Ale. It showcases a complex blend of malts, combining to bring you flavors of caramel, honey, treacle, and rounded malt oats with a hint of dry fruits. Dry hop of Cascade, it says, as fresh flavors, citrus and grapefruit. So basically, what they're kind of saying weird stuff here. What have we got in here? Doesn't actually say. Oh, there we go. Yeah, water, barley, hops, yeast. The quadfecta. We're talking. Yeah, Munich purity laws. The Reinheitsgebot. But it says dry hopped with Cascade. Is this a single hop or not? I don't know. We'll find out. And for a very dark beer, this is weird because I'm going into the dark beers now. So I know we did a black IPA as part of this series, but we're going into real dark beers. And is having a single hop a good idea with superbly dark beers, especially one that's saying treacle, honey, just all sorts of nonsense? So will we be able to taste the hops at all? That is what I'm thinking, dear viewer. This is, I didn't say, but it's 4.2% on the ABV. There we go. Oh, I was worried that it was going to jizz everywhere. Oh, it's done a little bit of jizz. Look, there's a little bit of jizz on my hands. And that was from the opening of this can, dear viewer, not from anything else. Look, it's full to the brim, absolutely nuts. Actually, maybe this is going to be like a Cascadian now, a proper one, like a black IPA. I take my thoughts back. No, it is a brown beer. I suppose it did say on the can it was a brown beer, so we can't go too far against that. And I have to apologise, dear viewer. I have had a few beers. This is not my first rodeo today. 2 fingers, or just under 2 fingers, which is good. And we're going to get this Dragon Boy on there. Is that going to fit on there? Sort of. No. Let's do it that way round. Right. So Dragon Boy, dark ale, and a cheesy grin. That, as you well know, should be the clip, the thumbnail, all that kind of jazz. Lovely head. Look at that head. Fluffy, lovely, lovely, fluffy. Tan, maybe a cream. And the beer is pretty dark, but let me tell you, dear viewer, look at the bottom down here. That is not a black ale by any means. That is definitely a dark, nutty kind of brown sort of thing. The Nutty Boys. Oh, the other thing I should say, and I neglected to because I've been out drinking, dear viewer, you know how we roll, is on this side of the can, I've had to turn it upside down, you see this here, it says Brew York. And that's because it was brewed by Brew York in York. What does that say? Usselbeck, or what, however you say it, fuck knows. But basically, it's a Brew York beer, and they've even said somewhere, oh, it's a collaboration beer, etc., etc. So it's not even brewed in Hong Kong. But then it's beer 52. You know they're going to take shortcuts and not import a beer from Hong Kong. Of course they wouldn't, when they can get someone to brew it for them. And Brew York are pretty good, so you know that's what we get. Now I have to say, on the nose, this does actually smell like a black IPA. It's interesting. You've got a nice hoppiness, but you've got those dark things. You've got a tiny bit of sweetness, but it's mainly dark malts, a little bit of kind of roastiness, a bit of nuttiness, and then the lovely Cascade, which for a long period of time was the world's most grown hops until it got taken over by Citra. But when I started drinking proper beers, whether they're real craft beer didn't exist back when I was a lad, but we did have beer festivals and we did have a lot of weird beers. And Cascade, from the American side of things, was definitely one of those hops. So yeah, it's one of those hops that I know reasonably well. And it's a really good example. It smells a little bit, I always think, and yeah, it's sort of a sort of peachiness, a sweet peach, if you like. A little bit of kind of grassy stuff in there, but kind of that sort of peachiness. Maybe even a bit of tangerine type stuff. That's kind of what I used to get from Cascade. Maybe some people have a bit of berry too. What have they said on here? It was something like dried fruits and petals or something, wasn't it? I don't know. Anywho, let's dive in. Cheers and beers, dear viewer. Why not click like to this video? Do all that other shit as well. But you click like, it does help me out. So cheers and beers. Oh, oh, that's lovely. Yeah, it's got a bit of a zestiness in there too. This is really interesting because, like a black IPA or a Cascadian ale or whatever, that kind of thing, this is kind of a step back from that. So you, instead of getting real bitterness, astringency from those dark hops, dark malts, sorry, you're getting a little bit more nuttiness. You're getting a bit more sweetness to it. And this has got a lot of hops in there. But yeah, underneath it's got that sweetness, that sort of nutty kind of malty biscuits sort of thing, which is really nice, I have to say. And look at that top line there. My God, that's an absolutely fat, selfish line. Looking like a fish, perhaps, or a slug or something walking across the side of my glass there, which is kind of interesting. Not sure about the darkness, not sure about the treacle, although I know what they're kind of meaning. Because this is a reasonably sweet beer. It did give the IBUs, didn't it, on the can, which I was interested in. 25 IBUs, so not too much, but it's not a bitter style of beer. And for the black IPAs, you're getting a lot of the bitterness, the astringency, like I said, from the black malt, the patent malt, that kind of thing. Let's dive in for some more. Oh, there is. It's interesting. There is a little bit of astringency in there, but it's not the same as a more dark beer. This is definitely on the kind of, yeah, the lighter side of things. And by having a real hoppy beer, I wouldn't be surprised if what Brew York have done is taken some sort of black IPA style and then just dialed back the malts a little bit. Although Gweilo or Gweilo, however you say it, are supposed to be responsible. I reckon that beer, Brew York, not Beer York, have also had an input into this beer. It is quite nice, I have to say. Um, it's so weird because I really like a Cascadian, I like a proper Cascadian black IPA style, and this is not far off. It's one of my favourite styles, and it's one of the. I heard someone describe it the other day as a sort of Marmite type beer. And for those of you that don't know what Marmite is, or Vegemite would be the other thing, you either really like it or you really don't. And I really do like it, especially when it's done well. When it's done not well, it's a bit shocking, shall we say. But trying to balance the darkness, the malts against the hops is really, really difficult. This is almost the opposite of a lager because you're throwing everything into this bad boy and trying to balance it out a bit. Don't forget, this doesn't have, according to the can anyway, it doesn't have wheat and oats in it. So you're purely relying on the different types of malts to balance out nicely the hops. And we know the bitterness unit is quite low, not superbly low, but it's not a bitter by any chance. Um, so they've done a really good job in kind of balancing it, balancing act, which is why when a beer like this is done really well, it really is a good one. The only thing that might be a drawback here is it a true showcase of Cascade hops? I really do like what they've done here. They've swung for the fences. Look at all that stuff. Oh, look, that fish or that kind of thing is still there swimming about. Looks like that like look a bit like Snoopy standing up on his hind legs and about to be eaten by a fish of doom. A Chinese fish at that. I think this is a good beer, to be honest. Really, really enjoyed that one. Beer of the Dragon, Cascadian Brown Ale by Gweilo. Shaman to you guys. This has been You're Slightly Drunk, but also you're loving Unclejona, drinking beers like this, so you guys don't have to, and for your entertainment as well. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, Unclejona will be back with another beer review real soon.